Hello again guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Comic Kid here, and today we have an all-new action figure review for you guys. As you can see here, it is the McFarlane DC Multiverse Azrael figure. Now this is specifically based on Sean Gordon Murphy's design for Batman Curse of the White Knight, which is the sequel series to the acclaimed Batman White Knight. And this is actually the first ever Azrael figure I have ever owned. While I have always liked the character, he's never been one that really stood out for me, and I actually passed up on buying this one when I initially saw him in stores. He has been out for a little bit, and I know you guys have probably seen a bunch of other videos for him out there online. But I got him on sale, and for $15 I decided he was worth it, and so here he is in all his glory. As you can see, it comes in the standard McFarlane packaging there. Basically everything is the same all along the back. That is specifically kind of the design that they pulled from when making this figure. As you can see, it is very much in line with the art style that was used for this particular storyline. And so yeah, we'll go ahead and bust this bad boy out and get into a few more specifics for him. Alrighty guys, now here he is out of the package, and as you can kind of see, one of the more immediate things is he is very light on the accessories. That said, Azrael doesn't need a lot of accessories, and so I'm perfectly happy with everything the figure came with here. So you can see he comes with the standard character card, with the details on the back there, and the generalized DC McFarlane figure stand there. And so, aside from those, he just has the flaming sword, which looks pretty nice. You got some pretty good details there, and I do like how, depending on the look or like the angle of the sword, you can have it look like it's really on fire or just a little on fire. But the flames themselves are removable, which is super nice. The sculpting and detail on the actual sword itself is still pretty cool. It's a nice, like, firm plastic there, and then a little bit softer on the tip. And then you just kind of slide it in like that, and there you go. Now, as far as the figure himself goes, he's definitely got a lot of shelf presence. I really like how kind of the feathery cape just comes up and arches down. It's very fitting for what Sean Murphy has done in Batman Curse of the White Knight. And the character himself looks pulled straight out of the comics. Like, the sculpting, the paint, everything looks really, really solid. Mine does happen to have this black dot here. Not sure how well y'all can see that. It's a little bit clearer there. I don't think that's supposed to be there. I could be wrong, but I'm honestly not too broken up about it for a $15 figure. Aside from that, the paint is perfectly fine in my opinion, but I do think the generalized look and feel of him is great. With that in mind, even in the box, he does not look like the most posable figure ever. McFarlane does manage to still get off some like pretty good range with the legs there, but his arm can only go up that high, can't quite go all the way out, and there's only the one ball joint, or I guess elbow joint there, which for a figure that's sculpted like this in particular to fit the Sean Gordon Murphy style, I don't really see them doing too many figures with two elbow joints there. You do have a ball joint in the wrist. You don't quite get much noticeable range there, but it's a little bit. You do have some slight shoulder movement, and his right arm can be moved significantly higher than his left arm. But again, that motion still isn't great before that piece really kind of pushes it out. But it does go straight out pretty nicely, especially in comparison to the other. Now, one thing I do like was the hood itself is all kind of attached at the neck there. So you can kind of move his head at the neck. But for the most part, the whole hood will turn, and it kind of feels like a ball joint down in there. And I actually kind of really like that. As far as the rest of the legs go, he does have double jointed knees, like such, and a ball joint in the foot as well, and even the toe joints, which you guys know I'm always indifferent on toe joints, so there is that. And then before I forget, he actually does also come with a pretty good ab crunch. He can bend fairly far back and pretty far forward as well, especially for a figure of his size. That's not the greatest range that I've seen on a figure like this, but for such a hard plastic molded figure as Azrael, that's definitely a good thing to consider about this figure. Now, aside from everything, I don't really have much else to say about this figure. He does have some really good shelf presence, and seeing him actually with the sword in hand is really cool, but he's really not the most posable, and I'd really like to achieve just a few of the poses that Sean Murphy manages to pull off within the Curse of the White Knight series. The photos I have here for you guys are just kind of some of the more complicated ones that I could pull off, but as you can see, nothing too fancy gets involved in here. Now, in regards to the other figures in this line, I do really like how McFarlane pulled off the design and style. Like, he really captured Sean Murphy's art for his Batman and his Joker figures. But I do have a lot of Batman figures already, and so I don't quite see myself picking up the other two. If McFarlane's Sean Murphy Joker figure happened to come with the suit, then I would definitely pick that one up because I absolutely love the face sculpt for that. I just don't really like that he comes in the Gotham PD uniform. And while I do like the design for the Batman, like I said, I just have so many other Batman figures that I'm not particularly interested in that one either. Generally, while I do prefer the comic book designs, this one is a very specific and particular comic design, and while I have absolutely no issues owning this figure, I just don't see myself picking up the other two. But I do really like this one, I'm happy to have him, and I'm really excited to see what McFarlane does going forward. Now, Azrael has had several other looks over the years, so I would be curious to see if McFarlane does any more, but yeah. And that's about everything we have for you guys today. Thank y'all so much for watching. Feel free to click like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again next week.